Flight lands at 5 p.m. Can someone pick me up? That's all I wrote. My husband's body was still fresh in the dirt overseas, and I was coming home with nothing but a suitcase and grief. My brother replied first, "We're busy, try Uber." Then my mother, "Why didn't you plan better?" I typed back 2 words, "No worries." And they thought that was the end of it. By nightfall, they would learn how wrong they were. Family is supposed to catch you when the world caves in. Mine let me hit the concrete. They always had. Quiet digs, backhanded comments, dismissive glances. But this? Leaving me stranded at the airport after burying my husband? That was the last insult I would ever allow. Grief has a strange clarity. It strips you down to bone and nerve. And in that hollow space, I found resolve. I used to believe blood was loyalty. My mother preached unity while belittling me. My brother smiled at me while pocketing my share of our father's inheritance. And me? I stayed silent, played the role, the reasonable one, the planner. Even when I married, they called him too quiet, too foreign, too different. They never saw the kindness in him, the steadiness I leaned on. He defended me when they didn't. He filled the cracks they carved into me. And when he died, suddenly, brutally, in a place far from home, they didn't even pretend to care. That was when something inside me broke and sharpened. The betrayal wasn't their rejection at the airport. No, that was only the mask slipping. The betrayal was years of neglect dressed as family love. Decades of small cuts until they left me bleeding alone. When I scrolled through our family group chat that night, messages about my cousin's new car, a vacation photo, gossip about a neighbor, I saw it clearly. My pain meant nothing to them. I closed the chat and started planning. Most people lash out, they scream, they beg for recognition. Not me. I learned a long time ago that silence terrifies more than shouting. So I began calculating. My brother had debts, gambling disguised as investments. I knew where he hid the evidence, screenshots, loan shark threats, all neatly archived in his email. He never changed his passwords. My mother prided herself on her reputation. Church fundraisers, charity boards, her image polished like glass. But she had secrets too. Hidden donations from my father's estate. Money funneled quietly to cover my brother's messes. I had the bank records. They thought I was the weak link. They forgot I watched, listened, remembered. Step 1, I called a reporter. Not a big one, local, hungry, the kind who lives for scandal. I fed her documents anonymously, my brother's debts, my mother's financial cover-ups. I framed it as a corruption story, misused charity funds, reckless family gambling. Enough smoke to spark a fire. Step 2, I bought my brother's debt outright. Small price, considering. His collectors no longer wanted his money. They wanted me paid in full, and I was far less forgiving. Step 3, I waited until the evening news. The footage played at 6 o'clock sharp. I sat in my dark living room, suitcase unopened, my husband's photo propped on the table. The anchor's voice was steady, ruthless. Allegations of financial misconduct have surfaced involving a prominent community family. My mother's name, my brother's face, their lies exposed, their empire of false respect shattered in under 3 minutes. By 7, their phones were probably melting with calls. By 8, my brother would realize his debts were no longer negotiable. By 9, my mother's friends would stop answering her. And me? I never picked up when they called. Some might call it revenge. I call it balance. When I asked for a ride home, it wasn't about convenience. It was a test, a chance for them to prove, for once, that I mattered. They failed. They always failed. So I closed the book for them, publicly, irrevocably. Now when I walk into a room, I am no longer the overlooked daughter, the disposable sister. I am the woman who buried her husband alone and buried her family's reputation with the same steady hands. The last text I sent was, "No worries," and I meant it, because now I finally have none.